All right, welcome to section 1.3, addition of real numbers. So we're going to learn how to add positive and negative numbers together here. One quick point before I really get started. I know you're going to use a calculator. In fact, I really encourage you to use a calculator. So what I'm hoping to give you by what I'm going to lay out here for you is an ability to kind of pay attention and check what your calculator gives you. Because it is unfortunately very easy to sometimes type things wrong on your calculator. And if you do that, you get a wrong answer. And if you're not paying attention, you don't know that you got a wrong answer. And that's not great. We want to be right on top of things. We want to know if something's going wrong so that we can fix it. So keep in mind as we go through this, I know you're going to use a calculator and I'm really okay with that. But please pay attention to the answers that you get. Do you get what you expect to see? Okay, that's kind of what we want to ask ourselves as you go through. All right, so here's how I look at positive and negative numbers. You can think of them, we can do this in two different ways. You can think of it in terms of money. Positive numbers are money you have, and negative numbers are money that you owe. Or you can think about them using a couple of rules. Some people like different methods. So the rules are only for adding two numbers at a time. Okay, after that, you just want to take them two at a time, all the way through the, if you have to add 10 things, just work your way through two at a time. Rule one, if the two numbers have the same sign, just add the numbers and keep the sign. And I think, again, if we come back to the money, that this makes sense. If you add two positive numbers together, you have $5, you have $3, 5 plus 3 should be $8. And it works with negatives too. I owe somebody $5 and I owe somebody $3. Sounds like I owe a total of $8, right? I owe 5, I owe 3, 5 and 3 is 8, I owe $8. It unfortunately does not turn into a positive when I add those two negatives, okay? Different signs. Now we want to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. I'm using air quotes here for bigger because negatives are never bigger than positives. But we're going to kind of pretend a little bit here, that if your negative number looks bigger, that's the bigger one. All right, and this one's going to work because, let's say you have $10, but you owe your best friend $20. Okay, when they come to get their money off of you, you can give them $10, but you're still going to owe them money. So we subtract to find out what's left, and then we use the sign of the bigger number to figure out if you owe money or if maybe you still have some money left over. All right, so let's do a couple of examples. This should be a pretty short video, and so, yeah, here we go. Okay, so I have 3 examples for us to go through, and really, that's really about all we're looking at here. All these problems are going to look really, really similar. So the first one, I just have 7 and 13. Hey, 7 plus 13, it was 20 before we had negative numbers. It should still be 20, and it is. If you want to think about it in terms of money, you have $7 and you get $13 more, you have $20, right? You're not going to go into debt here. Second one, negative 5 and negative 8. The signs are both negative, so 5 and 8 gives us 13, and we keep that negative sign. Okay, again, in terms of money, this says, I owe John $5 and I owe Tim $8, so total I owe them $13. Again, two debts do not cancel each other out. So when we add negative numbers, we still get a negative number. I really wish that those debts would cancel because I have a mortgage, I have a car loan, and boy, wouldn't it be nice if those two debts just knocked each other out. That would be wonderful, but it doesn't work that way. All right, finally, I have a problem here with a mixture. I have 3 numbers that we're going to add together. So first off, we have 7 and negative 12 plus negative 15. Again, my rules are for two numbers at a time, so I'm just going to do 7 plus negative 12 first. Some of you will be perfectly happy to do all 3 at once, and that's fine. Just be careful, make sure you get it right. We'd rather be right than fast. So my signs here are different, 7 and negative 12. So what the rule said was subtract, 12 minus 7 is 5, and then keep the sign of the bigger number. So since the 12 looks bigger than the 7, we keep it as a negative 5. The other way to think of this is I have $7, but I owe somebody 12. Again, when they come to collect that money, I'm still going to owe them $5 because I didn't have enough to pay the debt. So I still owe 5. Now that negative 15 comes down, those are both negatives, negative 5 and negative 15. We add, gives us 20. We keep the negative sign. One last little note here, and it's not a huge note, but it's definitely something that sometimes trips people up. What are the parentheses for? Right? I have parentheses around some of these numbers. What are those parentheses for? Quite simply, these parentheses are here just to set the number aside as being a negative number. Okay? There isn't anything inside of them to do, but it helps us to keep track of the fact that this is a negative 8 and not like a subtract 8. Okay, because those are similar, but they're really not quite the same thing. So it just helps us to keep track of where my negatives are. And that's all. All right, so there you go. Have fun.